list. Also spoke about, things that the Nigerian government had purchased, to aid the fight against insurgency. Spoke about how the economy had recovered in different ways. Also spoke about, infrastructural investments that had been made and whatnot. And a little bit of me, was wondering, about certain aspects of this. But we'll let you quickly watch, the Minister of Information share the list of achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari, and we'll get back to you.
In the Northeast Zone, under Operation Hadinkai, a combination of kinetic and non-kinetic operations, coupled with a review of strategies. This is in addition to destruction of several IED bomb-making factories, 7 bandits, Q2 2021, and 5.44% Q3 2021, compared arising from trade restrictions on account of COVID-19 pandemic. Disruptions of trading activities driven by the pandemic further weakened the balance of trade witnessed in Q4 2019 in the subsequent quarters. Consequently, total imports in the first 3 quarters of 2021 rose by 57.13% from 13.97 trillion in the corresponding quarters of 2020 to 21.95 trillion. Similarly, total export grew by 40.62%, which was 13.12 trillion naira in the first 3 quarters of 2021, compared to 9.33 trillion in the corresponding period.
Spoke about security, investments in infrastructure, like I said earlier, the economy, and a couple of other things, that they have seen as improvements and achievements of with. They will commend themselves, they will praise themselves, they will put out their achievements, but you cannot necessarily the poverty capital of the world. If we still have the highest number of out-of-school children, if we still have a lot of people who cannot afford food stuff, then...
No, but if you begin to mention all of that, you would want to agree with me that, these are some elements who are really struggling to topple, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari. And these are elements, so you can't say that we're, the headquarters, the world's capital of the poorest, and the poorest live in Nigeria and all of that. You can't begin to say all of that. Those reports are just incited by those who are not in support of this administration, and that's what it is. Yes, of course. But, I like the choice of words that you use. The government would always believe, they believe what they believe, and the truth is, because with all of this, I really don't even want to go into the details and begin to mention, oh, okay, did this happen, did this not happen? Like you have mentioned already, policies are supposed to reflect the interest of the people. And for every time you have government policies, have that solved the problem? Does that solve the problem of the people? When you go outside on the street, what are the people saying about infrastructure? So despite all of the things that you're saying, I can't begin to argue with, the Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. But let's get to the streets. Let's talk to Nigerians. Are these things another aspect of the world? So sometimes some persons would say, I think I saw a video where someone was in the FCT out of the fact that they have to do the needful. Then they begin to look at the scorecard. But which should there
is there any report that counters it by the Nigerian
government?
No,
but the Nigerian government will constantly say that these are reports to,
you don't expect the government to come out and say, oh, we have made you people so poor. You don't expect the government to come out and say our government has failed. But even if you don't say that you have made the people so poor, you don't have to accept. But you probably have to just pay attention. It's not every other time that you feel like. I would always say that Nigeria does not revolve around, Minister for Information and Culture, nor the president. Nigeria is bigger than, individuals and interests. It's not always about a political party or an interest. So because every other time you have reports coming through, somebody would just decide to make it about themselves. Oh, this is about the president. Some people don't love this administration and they want to topple the government. And it's because some people do not love the face of, the minister, which is not the case. It's really just, not being able to accept criticism and do better. That's really what it is. And if you never get to a point where you can be criticized and you accept that, yes, this person has a point and so you would improve, then you would never really improve. if you continue to give yourself a pat on the back, you'll never really improve. But once again, like we both said, it's left for the Nigerian people to judge some of these achievements, with, every, direction. And I'm sure that our guest on Off the Press, hopefully this comes up on Off the Press this morning, so our guest can also share his thoughts with regards the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari. Our final top trending story this morning goes to a young man named Ibitoye Michael Olajide, who has built himself a sports car here in Nigeria. I hope that we can quickly share. Congratulations to him, and of course I think he also deserves some commendation, and the things that we deal with every day still go ahead and create and put themselves to work and express, put out the talents that they have inside of them. It's something that should be applauded. So that is him. His name, once again, Ibitoye Michael Olajide. And we say congratulations to him, and we hope that he continues to, share that talent with the rest of the world, and eventually maybe he finds himself in a place where it is truly and completely appreciated. Well,
the truth is this, that, somewhere outside of this country, I'm sure that the company, maybe in the Western world, will soon identify him, and he will be taken away as usual, because that's what happened.
He could also work with the likes of Innocent and other.
No, but the point is, will we even see that? That's always it. I mean, I can't even remember the young this year social media where you can actually put a stuff now, and so some company somewhere outside of Nigeria, the Western world, would definitely come through for Ibito in no time. So fingers crossed in 2022, because we would not see it, including the ones that we have here will not pay attention to it. I mean, that's the reason why we constantly want to go out to go get coaches outside of Nigeria. We constantly think that we need to get.
Hello and welcome. It's Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime and promotion of matters affecting our waters. Nimasa bears responsibility for search and rescue, shipping development, and ship registration.
Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on this channel.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in
to help other people, then it becomes easy.
Don't rush into marriage. I always say this. You rush in, you rush out.
Family is the bedrock of every society and the essence of life.
On Today with John and Helen, we dig deep into family values in every sense of the word.
Join us every Saturday at 9:15 a.m. on PlusTvAfrica, DSTV channel 408.
With you, we play a part in strengthening the values passed.
Now 500 naira they collect them.
If you don't talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Welcome back to The Breakfast and Plus TV Africa. Time for Off the Press. And as usual, we will take you through the pages of our dailies. And we have Jide Johnson, who is live in the studio with us this morning. He'll be making sense of all of the top stories on our papers. It's good to have you join us on the Leadership newspaper. Reads, momentous event that shaped the year 2021. Many sides of a difficult, eventful year. That's what you have underneath the caption. Nigerians take stock. Still looking at the papers, federal government scores President Muhammadu Buhari high on economy and security in 2021. Be ruthless with terrorists, bandits, COAS, orders generals, and foremost medical doctor Dante Ahmed dies at 83. You also have another caption here saying, CSOs allege fresh plot against Electoral Act Amendment Bill. And these are some of the headlines on the Leadership newspaper.
And also the Daily Independent. Big story there says forensic audit. Buhari vows to recover every kobo stolen from NDDC. Says culprits will face the law. Also, AUGF indicts National Assembly Management Commission in 9.4 billion naira unexplained expenses. Queries reps over 5.52 billion naira unaccounted expenditure. Gunmen kill police officer, abduct one in Anambra. And also, federal government lists 100 achievements of Buhari's government in 2021. Says president will leave legacy of safe, prosperous Nigeria. Senate launches investigation into award of 7.5 billion naira contract in NPA. We can also find on the Daily Independent, Ikpeazu meets Buhari, insists Ndigbo deserve presidency in 2023. And I oppose insecurity, not Buhari's administration, says Bishop Kuka.
All right, let's move away from the Daily Independent and check out the Punch newspaper this morning. And the bold caption says, APC National Convention, uncertainty over February date as peace panel flops. Very, very interesting. Ruling party fears outcome of pending court cases may nullify convention. Adamu's panel can't conclude reconciliation before convention. That's what the chieftain is quoted to say. And you also have the caption here, CBN Forex policies may threaten economic growth in 2022. That's according to reports. And 6 multinationals to pay 249 billion oil proceeds in January, according to the NNPC. Buhari vows to recover NDDC funds from looters and justifies audit. Panel summons clerk as AG says the National Assembly's 9.4 billion naira unaccounted for. And still looking at the pages, the front page of the Punch newspaper, you also have CNS vows clamp down on maritime troops colliding with criminals. And EU seizes 82% of Nigeria's agro products exported illegally. That's what the federal government is quoted to say. Akure monarch intervenes in Oni's marital rift. You also have another caption here. Makinde's loyalists kicked as APC carpets governor over insecurity and infrastructure. Just before we move away, Igbo more knowledgeable and should be president in 2023. And that's Ikpeazu quoted on all of that. But that's the much we can take this morning on the Punch newspaper.
And finally to the Guardian newspapers. 4 years on, Nigeria lags behind in open skies. $1.3 billion revenue agenda. Federal government operators divided on implementation strategy and prospects. We can also find here military combs Lake Chad kills 22 terrorists, loses 6 troops. Audit report indicts National Assembly over 9 billion naira unexplained expenditure. Boko Haram destroys 1 million public and private buildings in Borno. And why Igbo should be president in 2023, and that's from Ikpeazu once again. Doubts over federal government's capacity to remove fuel subsidy as election nears. And with that, we'll say good morning to Jide Johnson. Thank you for joining us. Pretty interesting stories that we can find across the papers. I'm not sure which would be a nice place to start. Maybe the federal government's 100 achievements in 2021.
I think that's the scorecard of the federal government, and it's very interesting in the sense that the federal government is calling the federal government, it's calling the presidency. You set the exam for yourself, and you're examining yourself. I believe that it should be the citizen that should examine. And I watched the press conference, and across all media reportage of that event, I didn't see anywhere the minister was asked questions. I think the minister, it shouldn't just be a session whereby the minister would just make his presentation without taking tough questions. As far as I'm concerned, if you look at the two topmost items identified by the minister that is called the government high on the economy and on the security, the reflections, the inflation on ground and the insecurity across the length and breadth of Nigeria is an indication that the government did not score anything high based on what the minister has said. Because in one of the stories that we read, it said Boko Haram destroyed 1 million houses in Borno. That's one of the stories that we read. And we see the split of the economy across board. What has been the cost of living, the standard of living of an average Nigerian. Let's use this Yuletide period as an index of measuring whether government has really done well when it comes to the economy or whether government has not really done well. You and I know people that asked us for a lifeline. You know how many people, because they see you on screen and they think you have all the money in the world. And today that I'm even dressing like a senator, I've even created problem for myself. So essentially, as far as I'm concerned, if you look at the scorecard, it's federal government setting the exam and the federal government examining itself. It should be with the Nigerian people. I think what the minister should have done is to have commissioned an organization to do a public opinion polling to see how Nigerians have scored this government, whether it has really done well.
In the US, they do these ratings every now and then, you know.
That's what I'm saying. It's not there for the Minister of Information to tell us that the government has done well. It's for us here to do a survey, a public opinion polling, to see what is the public approval and rating of President Muhammad Buhari? What is the public approval and rating of his economic policy? It's, like you said, every month, on monthly basis, on quarterly basis, different types of organizations release their polls to show the performance of government. But if you ask me to assess myself as Aroge, how do you think I'll assess myself? I say I've done well. And that's what the federal government has done. The federal government has engaged in self-assessment, and it's an exercise in self-delusion. And as far as Nigerians are concerned, the reality on ground does not match up with what the minister said with respect to the scorecard, 100 achievement, security, and the rest of it. When even there's this particular story where the chief of army staff directed the military to go after bandits. I'm not too sure we have really done well when it comes to that two items that they list as number 1 and number 2 on their scorecard. I don't think so. And I'm sure a lot of Nigerians will agree with me that things are not okay when it comes to the economy, and things are not okay when it comes to security.
Okay, just on the leadership newspaper, it says events that actually shaped 2021, and you also have pictures to actually tell some of the story. I mean, the death of TB Joshua, Nnamdi Kanu's case, what have you, several issues. But for you, what would you say that is that major event that happened in Nigeria that shaped 2021?
I'm not even looking at what shaped 2021, what's going to shape 2022, what's going to shape 2023, which is the non-passage of the electoral bill that was sent to the president for his assent. As far as I'm concerned, politics shapes everything. It is the politics that determines the polity determines the policies, and it is policy that shapes people's life. Now, you recall in 2019, we provided an excuse that, okay, well, you know what, it was so close, so the president cannot sign the Electoral Act of 2019 into an act, and then we provided that excuse. And it's like history repeats itself syndrome, and now we are going to 2023 election. Some of the challenges we have with 2019 election have not been addressed, but some of the issues discovered have been addressed by the electoral by the electoral bill that has been forwarded to the president. That has not been passed. Now, if you relate that to a story of the APC convention, where the peace panel has failed that there's every likelihood that the convention will be shifted in February, because a lot of litigation is going on concerning the APC primaries across APC conventions across the states, at the state level, at the local government level. So as far as I'm concerned, it's what has shaped 2023 is non-signage of that act, of that bill into an act that will guide the conduct of 2023 elections. And that's moving forward, because without politics, you can't. Politics affect the economy, politics affect technology, politics 2023, and people are providing the excuse. And we have argued that, you know what, if the contentious area is the direct primaries or indirect primaries, expunge that particular section. You know, it was jettisoned in the first instance to include electronic voting.
I also like you to share your thoughts on this paper.